that because I work with a lot of exotics, and everything I prescribe in an exotic animal is off-label. So there are no veterinary drugs basically for the exotics. Of course, I do have to be mindful of the potential for human abuse. Alprazolam would probably be the one that I have to be maybe the most careful with. Xanax, people. If someone is coming in, every 2 weeks to get Xanax, we might want to kind of reevaluate. So how are you using that drug, and when are you giving it? If you're giving it every single day, alprazolam really probably should be given every single day. I mean, it doesn't no long-term effects from giving it every single day, but what's going on that they need it that much? So that's when I'm talking to people about alprazolam, I usually use the generic word. It's not necessarily, some people of course know that it's Xanax, but people know the word Xanax more than they do alprazolam, so they usually stick with the word they don't know. For most of it. And then of course, if a case is beyond either your ability to handle or my ability to handle, then I think we need to recognize our boundaries and refer to someone else. I didn't really talk much about behavior modification, but that's kind of what you guys do too. And that's why I think it's a good way to, I think that last slide is just references, so you've got that on your sheet, not that you could probably read the fine print, but I think one way that I find working with a trainer really helpful, because I do a lot of behavior cases, is when I write up my behavior modification plan, if I write specific instructions for desensitization and counter-conditioning, I want them to work with a trainer to implement some of that, because I'm limited in my practice. I can't really go to their home and look at their the layout of their home, where are they having issues? Is it in doorways or dog afraid of bicycles or whatever it is? I find it's really helpful to kind of write up some specific recommendations and then say, follow up with this trainer, and they can help guide you through some of those things. So those are the main things I wanted to touch upon. But I think it'd be good to have some time for question and answer. What questions, thoughts do you have? Any cases that you struggle with?
How would you be working shelter dogs? Did you guys in shelter?
I was actually invited over to when it was Animal Haven for a consultation on a dog, and I definitely don't work with them very much. I do have a lot of concerns about the amount of stress that dogs are on. I mean, they're not. The amount of stress they're dealing with there is not normal. And we're asking them to be on their best behavior despite the intense amount of stress that they're under. So I don't really know what the state of things is. Do you work with Great Plains or?
Great Plains and Wayside, yeah, several trainers here.
Yeah. Do you know? I don't know.
Usually when they're getting so aroused that some behavior can't help and they're walking and everything, it seems like fluoxetine is the drug of choice.
Yeah. And of course, the drawback with the fluoxetine is it takes like 4 to 6 weeks of it being on board before it really has the benefit. And that's why, gosh, I should buy stock in Composure, because I'm like, Composure, at least you can give it to us safely. I do have a dog right now that is taking Composure. She's a really big dog. She's a Mastiff, and so she's taking. I told her to give, and she doesn't want to do any drugs. That's partly why I'm not doing any Prozac for her. But she's taking Composure a low dose every single day, and then days where she's coming into our hospital for socialization visits and say that we're not going to do anything to her. I have her. She gets 9 of these little chews a day, which normally 3 is triple the dose, but for her it's 9. And she does so good with that. And so that kind of stress that's kind of predictable. The only thing I don't know about how it would pan out in a shelter dog is if you give it to them, every single day over, a month or however long they're there, will the effects start to wear off? about that as a possibility.
So if they get started on fluoxetine, would it hurt to give them composure while that is?
I would definitely do that.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, good, because sometimes you need it quick.
Yeah.
They would just give it to them when they're gonna meet somebody.
That's so sweet. So, yeah.
I had no idea.
You know, and I had a dog, that would stay with us, a greyhound mix, and so I don't know, like, how much you know about, well, I mean, I know you know about greyhound mixes,